So if you're watching this video, then you have an interest in doing some shadow work. I've gone through a couple of different names. The name that I ended up, at least right now, is Shadow Fellowships because it indicates a group of people, a small group of people who are going to work on investigating their shadow side. So let me give you a rundown of the different types of individuals who are receiving this initial overview of what I'm thinking in terms of these workshops. There's the novelist writing her first novel and wanting to bring depth to some of the characters in her book. There are individuals from different religious traditions that if you do your shadow work, your religious tradition will come alive much more for you and be more rewarding. I have a handful of musicians that just want to bring depth to their music. And I even have 2 Dungeons and Dragons enthusiasts and a few individuals who are interested in developing video games. But most individuals, I would guess, that are going to take this workshop are going to be individuals who want to investigate their dark side and figure out why it keeps getting in the way of allowing them to get what they want. And when I say help you get what you want, that almost sounds like a selfish, self-serving endeavor. It almost has these overtones of hedonism. And a lot of this is based on me being more of a Jungian therapist, where I work from a framework of understanding that you know who you are, but we have lived life, we've been children, we've put on ego layers, we've put on personas, we've put on masks, we've done so much work to please people outside of us that we haven't taken the opportunity to figure out who it is that's already within us that we want to bring to the world. And if you believe there's some sort of a force or some sort of a God or some sort of a way the universe is wired, then I have to believe that if you put yourself in touch with that by removing your personas and removing your ego layers and removing those things that get in the way and just aren't serving you well, that you'll not only live a more full life, but you'll be able to affect others around you. Whether it's through the story that you tell through your life, whether it's through a Dungeons and Dragon or a novel character that you're developing, or a song that you're writing. I'm confident that if each of us can show up and truly be ourselves, and if we develop the agency to put on the personas and the ego layers that we know are going to best serve ourselves and therefore best serve the world, that we can live that full life that some people seem to achieve. Now here's how I've come to this conclusion. When I look at the counseling experience I've had not only personally, but sitting in this office with clients, and when I look at what I've been able to engage students with in the realm of psychology as a professor, and even my own journey as an artist to be able to produce something and put it out there for the world to see and know that it's going to be okay to do that, and it might help people look at things differently. This journey of understanding that I have made so many decisions in my life to please authority figures, to please family members, to please even my friendship groups. And to take kind of that scary leap of saying, okay, I'm going to present myself to the world and this is who I am. And I've removed the ego layers that I want to remove. I'm no longer going to wear different personas. I've also taken a couple of trips to investigate and experience other religions. One trip to Thailand a few years ago where I did a lot of experiencing of Buddhism. And just several months ago, I returned from a trip to India where I experienced Hinduism. I even continue to experience Christianity, which is the religion that I was raised with, in a deeper and more meaningful way. So I want you to look at it this way. Human beings became conscious, started to come up with myths, when they started to come up with legends to kind of explain our existence. It was myth and legend that eventually would evolve into religion. And then individuals would come along who wanted to make sense of myth and legend and religions, and we're going to call those philosophers. Then science comes along because science wants to make sense. It wants to measure the universe and the happenings of our environment and things that we can observe, and we want to study them and we want to make sense of them. And when you look at these different arenas of thought or contemplation, whether it's myth, legends, religion, philosophy, science, when you put those all together and want to make sense of the whole thing, we would call that psychology. And here's the thing that I've observed. No matter where you start, whether it's myth, legend, religion, science, psychology, philosophy, no matter where you start, things kind of bleed through, things come through. There are certain structures that if we exist in those structures in certain ways, we can really figure out who we are. And it kind of doesn't matter where you start, because in a way, you you end up in the same place. And so I envision these workshops as being small groups of 7, 8, maybe 9 individuals, but probably closer to 7 or 8. And over the course of several weeks or a couple of longer sessions, I'm not sure how it's going to work out quite yet, I want to give you the tools and the framework to investigate your shadow side, to investigate ways that you get in the way of getting what you want, to investigate how you can remove barriers to develop that character for your novel or that character that's going to show up in the Dungeons and Dragons game, or to really develop that video game narrative. And through these discussions, I hope you start seeing how these things come through different ways. For example, through the biblical narrative, or through the Star Wars sagas, or through the Legend of Zelda, or through the Marvel Universe, or through classics like the Iliad and the Odyssey, or Dante's Inferno, or from the experiences that we had in childhood, or through the study of psychology and science. It's my hope that these workshops are going to give you the tools and the guidance to help you look at your dark side, develop your light side, and to figure out for yourself how to live life to the fullest. One format would be for you to express interest as an individual. Another approach might be for you to find 6, 7, or 8 of your friends. It could even just be a couple other friends, and we can make groups that way. And then that will become your fellowship. So the composition of the group is really up to you. If you want to make a part of a group on your own, if you want to make a whole group of your own, or whether you just want to be an individual and send me an email and say, sign me up. There are different formats I'm looking at. At this point, the lengthy format would be 10 weeks. About an hour or 2 a week of time together, either by Zoom or in person if we can arrange that. Other structures could be 2 weekends with longer days. It's really more a function of how can we organize this in a way so that I can give you all the tools and explain it and give you the experience with the tools that are going to be needed for this, making sure that you're going to have a really good experience. If you're an individual wanting just to be assigned to a group, you can tell me your availability. Or if you want to share this video with friends who might want to join you, or send it to another individual who you think might be interested. And then sometime soon, I'll make another video that's going to cover the different components of these workshops, so that you can have a better idea of what you'll be experiencing within the workshop. So for right now, if you can just express interest if you're interested in doing this alone, or if you want to start talking to a friend or two to see if they would like to join, or if you'd like to go all out and say, hey, I've got a group of 7 or 8 people, we want to do this together, then just send me an email. All right, I hope to hear from a bunch of you.